So please find a comfortable seat. And once you have found that seat, close your eyes. Let's do a couple of shoulder rolls just to start this process of unwinding for the evening. And just taking those shoulders forward, out, back, and down a handful of times. Letting yourself ease into the practice, right? Depending on what's been going on with your day, whether it's been busy, whether it's been not so busy, irregardless, separating the old, the past to the present. Let's go the other way with your shoulders. Circles, go back, up, forward, and down. And we intentionally create the separation for the benefit of steadiness. Just to have the steadiness, the practice, the commitment of creating a wholesome, calm space for you to explore, to release. The shoulders soften down. Replace the hands on the lap where they're most comfortable for your neck to soften. Allow your teeth to part in the back. Create just a gentle little hug at the back of your throat, the ujjayi breath, to just direct the energy, the focus of the breath. And invite even your facial muscles to be a part of this restorative practice. And what you might notice, you guys, if you have a tight muscle in the face, sometimes what's helpful is to squeeze it and then release it, right? So if the eyes are a little tense, give them a little squeeze or two and let it soften. Visualize like delicious melted chocolate. There's just this sweet liquid softness to the tissues from the face all the way around the skull, down through the neck on all sides, down through the shoulders, and wrapping the heart with love, spooling through the core and then rooting into your pelvis, which is either on the ground or maybe on a blanket. We set intention so that the moments of the practice where you might lose sight of why you're here for this hour, because it can be easy, even more so in your home, and then especially in the studio, it'd be easy to lose track or maybe give up. So we set intention, you guys. I invite you, just what's in your heart? What do you want to get out of your practice? It can be a short phrase, a little mantra, or maybe it's just one singular word, one word that reminds you why you chose to be here. Honoring the value of your intention, not only now, but all the intentions and goals you've made through your life, and those that have yet to come. We honor it by bringing the hands to the heart. We value our intentions, our offerings. Let the head bow, seal that into the center of your own heart. Hold it with value and love. Keeping that in the heart, allow the hands to stretch up, the long spine, hands to the sky, everything we have. We'll come to hands and knees, make your way to all fours. So in the beginning of the class, I do a little bit of movement, okay? If you find all fours, you can go into some cat-cows. Side stretches. Not a ton of movement here in the beginning, just enough to warm yourselves up. Connect with what you need today. Shift the hips around, rotate your neck, start that process of really unwinding any neck tension, shoulders. Finding center, downward facing dog. Start to pedal out your feet, do a little bit of hip movement here. And keep it pretty gentle. Strong enough to hold good alignment, but maybe softer in the music as we approach this way. Now for the magic, walk your feet forward, ragdoll pose. Separate your feet rather wide apart. Hold opposite elbows, let the body dangle, 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 and the knees can bend as much as you can in that ragdoll shape. And shake out the head, shake out the elbows. Turn to your downward dog, so place your hands and journey your way back to that initial shape. Forward towards a plank. We're going to simplify. I'm going to have you put your knees on the ground. Kind of long, all fours. And slowly bend your elbows and bring all the way down to the floor, laying on your belly. Shift the hips back, point your toes, and bring your forehead to the ground. Yeah. Laying on the belly, start to take these really big belly breaths. So inhale, good expansion, your tummy pushes into the floor. And as you exhale, you relax and soften down. Staying there on the belly. Really working the openness of the belly as you inhale. So it takes not just effort, there is effort in deep breathing for sure, but honestly, there's a little bit of letting go as well, especially in the guts. Our belly can be so conditioned to hold our stress, our strain, our struggle. So to really optimize a full breath, there is a letting go. Right. From this position, laying on your belly, take your right knee and glide it over to the side. So the right knee is flagged out as a little soft hip opener. Yeah. And then the head can turn to the right. You can make a pillow with your hands, make it really simple. And continue with those belly breaths I was just chatting about, finding the right amount of effort and ease, of pushing to get a nice big expansive space in the belly, but also softening it so there's room for it to really fully open. We'll take about 3 more deep breaths here. Really let the hips go. Let them open, let them soften. And then we'll come back to center. Before we go to the other side, you guys, just come back to laying normally on your belly with the right leg extended. Position your head comfortably, or whatever that means to you. And just a couple breaths before we hop directly into the other leg. Cool, and again, so simple, just slide the left knee out to the left side, making more or less a square with the left knee, maybe a little bit higher than the hip, to a place where you feel a gentle stretch. If you are on a hard surface, by the way, you might like to put some kind of cushion between the inner knee and the floor if you're noticing some pressure there. And turn the head to the left. And let the belly again just have these nice big breaths as you hold the restorative shape. Letting go of any effort. Noticing potential similarities between the two hips. Potential differences. Maybe one holds more tension. That's pretty common for most of us. And just a couple more deep breaths here. Soften all the way down into your toes, even the littlest toe. And as before, slowly, no rush, take the left leg back to meet the right, and just hang here on your belly for a moment, finding center, finding neutral. Cool. From here, we rise up to Sphinx. So you just lift the heart enough to place your elbows directly below your shoulders. Directly below your shoulders. Sometimes I see people, their elbows really far back. That's a hard place to chill out. So you just take them right below. You want it to be nice and soft. Little spinal flow here. On the inhale, open the collarbones, gaze a bit upward. And then exhale to softly gaze down and in and get a little squeeze of the belly. Again, this is a relaxing class. Just find a nice little healthy tension in the core. You're gonna feel like that, kind of like a cat-cow. A little less range of motion due to the posture as it is, but nonetheless equal opportunity to feel how the back is doing. Also move with your breath. The inhale rises up the crown. Exhale rounds you in. And either just holding the center here for a little bit or bringing it up towards seal pose, the elbows will lift. And we'll stay here for just 4 to 5 deep breaths. Avoid pushing the floor away from you. It's really easy to do here. Effort towards pulling. So you'll feel your triceps engage as you pull earth towards your hips. Now this time as we make our way down, slowly lower, and you're gonna make rose hands. So it's one fist and the other hand cups around it. Then you have a nice little pillow for your forehead, okay? So place your head on your forehead on your hands. I won't because I want you to be able to hear me. And with your head on your hands, widen your elbows out more. Try to get more space for the ribs on the back side. So yeah, elbows wide, elbows forward. Cool, cool. Now keeping that, keep your head down, elevate the feet so your knees again have about a 90-degree bend, the feet are in the air. Yeah. Now push the knees down so your pelvis actually starts to lift up off the ground. Your booty will rise. You're dragging your knees towards you to get the hips to pop up. Then arcing right and left. So it's an active windshield wiper. We'll finish this with a passive one. Active, start to really charge up a bit of heat in the backside. In relationship, notice the low belly gets a chance to open. It gets super stretched and super long. Cool, you guys. Now bring it back down. Keep the feet up. Put the pelvis back down on the floor more normally. And now do more passive side-to-side windshield wiper. Releasing any tension in the back. Come back to center. Place the hands, curl the toes. Use your knees, push up and back to your child's pose. Liquid and soft. Really working soft movement tonight. Knees out wide, hips out wide, forehead to the mat again. And come back into that deep breath. Again, please stay in your child's pose. I'm not in it because I want you to hear me. Get full on the inhale. Notice there's this whole space of the ribs that gets so wide and so full when you allow it to. And much like the belly, oftentimes it's not just effort. It's not, am I strong enough to take that big inhale? Half of it, it's like a yin-yang action. Half of it is being able to let go a little bit of the resistance of some of the stickiness we're so accustomed to holding on in the chest, especially if we've been going through a lot of stress or anxiety. Allow everything to melt into the mat, so soft. And friends, let's please inhale, slowly rise up to all fours. We're going to do a low lunge. So you can bring the knees a little more narrow. And then simply take your left foot, let's go left side first to mix it up from the usual. Forward and the right knee stays back. So you're just in a low lunge. Grab whatever cushioning you have. I don't want you to be hanging on the joint too low. I'm going to use my bolster. Again, you can like stack some blankets, whatever you have at your disposal. Put your elbows down onto that. Good. And here's where you can kind of personalize the pose, and I'll show it as best as I can. As the left knee goes more forward, you'll get more intensity. Another choice is to scooch the right knee further back. And this is very much personal preference. You're going to be here for a couple minutes, okay? So go to a place where it's not so extreme. So it might be a little backed off that maybe you would do if you were just going to hold this for 30 seconds to get a brief stretch. I'm going to be here for a little bit. And as we're here, okay, if you begin to feel, whoa, this is too much, whatever that might be, whether it's physically or energetically, you can soften it, you can come out of the pose and go to child's pose as an alternative. Now, stay here, physically not moving, but breath, let's get way more into, again, that fullness on the inside you're building. Not by brute force, not by just taking a huge inhale as hard as you can, but softening the inhale, like you're allowing the inhale in instead of trying to pull so much. Sometimes the letting go of the tension we carry is not just physical. Can my body physiologically stretch and release? It's just as much mental, right? Can my mindset, can my brain depart from this pattern I might have of thinking, oh, I'll just always be tight there, or that's just my troublesome spot. So it's creating a new normal just for the body, right? New normal for the body to live with space, with love, with freedom. 2 more breaths. Take it out super duper slow. And before you take your leg back, just give yourself a brief hamstring stretch, like a half split, so that the left toes lift and sit back just for a moment. We're not going to hold this very long, just a little counter stretch. And then we will go to the other side. So use your hands to support you as you swoop the left leg back to where it was. Position your props on the other side of you, so you can pretty easily just step directly in to the right side. And the elbows. And find your stillness. Feel free to adjust the bend of the right knee. The deeper it goes, the more intense. And additionally, the further back you scooch your left knee. Again, try not to feel like you have to go to where it hurts. It's not typically the most successful place to go. You just want to go where there's a healthy sensation, right? A good degree of challenge where you can still breathe, still feel what you're doing. Two more deep breaths. Stay with it. And we'll slowly come out, friends. Take yourself up to your hands. Slowly half split, straighten the front leg, let the right toes lift. Just a brief counter stretch away. Turning to all fours when it feels pretty equal to the other side. And some cat-cow, so you can just scooch keep them nearby. We're going to use them again pretty soon. Let's just find all fours. I'd like you to move side to side and notice if within this movement it might differ a bit from the beginning of the class a little while ago. Sweet. So this next one's super sweet. So we're going to take our bolster and we're going to be laying on it. Okay, so you want to take it out in front. We're going to be sitting in front of the bolster. Bend your left foot back. And here, there's going to be a lot of different levels here. And then the right leg is going to stretch out straight. So we're going to get into the left quadricep. Know where we're going. Here I have a little technique for you guys. If you have really sensitive knees, maybe you're post-knee surgery, if you have a towel, here's a really helpful technique if you're ever doing hero or half hero. is you take the towel, put it behind your knee like this, you wrap it so it'll help keep space there, and then you put the leg in hero pose. So you're gonna try to get your knees aligned as best you can, not too far splayed out. Then we're gonna lay back onto our bolster. If you're super flexible and the bolster feels like it's limiting your ability to get a good stretch, you could just lay flat on the ground. But due to the longer hold that we're about to do for ourselves here, I encourage at least maybe a little layer of some sort. This is a place where I like to massage my feet, left hand, left foot, and kind of work the thumbs, or the thumb into the arch of the foot. Good, Melissa. And the hips might feel a little crooked, right? That left hip slightly more popped up. Work it, try to work it so that the hip starts to release towards the ground, but a little crookedness will not kill you. So try straightening your right leg out, Melissa. So one leg out, one leg in. So it's one-legged hero pose. Yeah, that's where we're going. The arms could also just release out by your sides, so simply letting the heart open fully. Really letting the body explore a full but also soft breath. Two more breaths. If your knee at all starts to feel really unhappy, please come out early. Good job, you guys. It's a tough one. So we'll slowly journey our way back up to a seat. Use your hands to support you. Untuck that leg before we go to the right side. We'll do a deep forward fold, or a seated forward fold. Use your hands, widen your sitting bones behind you. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold. You don't have to go super far to benefit. You go as far as feels right for you. Sweet, let's do it. Other side, inhale, lift yourself up. Take the right leg and hook it behind. Again, a towel or a shirt, whatever you have under the knee, can help to protect any kind of knee tension, any sensitivity in hero pose. Adjust your bolster or pillows as needed. And of course, make your way down to your reclined shape. Right hand, thumb might work a little foot massage there, thumb pressing into various spots on your arch. Keep letting it go. The bigger goal of this, which is so good for our hips, you guys, is when the quadriceps that can get so tight and firm on the front, in contrast to weaker hamstrings, our thigh bone tends to want to pop up all the time. So anything like this, it just really helps to untangle the tension of the front leg, set the hip more posterior, a little bit more back in the socket. Always worthwhile, whether you're doing more active practices or something more passive like this. Let's do 2 more deep breaths. Super sweet. We'll slowly journey on up to a seat. Slowly come out, be really sweet to your knee. And this time we'll do more of a wide-legged forward fold facing our bolster cushion situation. So split the legs. I'll turn to face you guys, but you guys can orient yourselves on your space as it makes sense for you. V the legs out. Give yourself something to lay or lean onto. It's not necessarily that you have to lay all the way on it, depending what your props are. You can either do elbows, hands if that's where you're at today. Elbows, if you can, would be nice. You go more passive. Maybe you're able to lay all the way down on your props, depending a bit on what you have at your disposal, your level of mobility. Either way, we'll be here for just about a minute, nothing too crazy. Let the head relax down, even though I know I'm keeping mine up right now. I want you guys to chill. Let the head, let the neck, let the shoulders, let them release. Two more deep breaths. Again, inhale, slowly rise up. You can stay seated here. Just do some neck rolls. Opening to the side, opening a little bit to the back plane. Reducing any effort. Inviting all the ease. Go really extra slow. We'll do these neck circles for a good little bit here. Good few breaths. Super slow. Like a turtle doing neck rolls. And cool, let's establish the neck curve. Take your hands, put them on the back of your neck. So it's kind of a little massage for yourself. Let the elbows wrap narrow. With your fingers, you guys just work and pull the tissues in towards the bone. And then lay back and let the throat tip open. So there's this location on the back of your skull You guys stay as you are. I'm just going to turn sideways viewed. There's this bone at the base of the skull, or base of the hairline for most of us, the occiput. You want to lift that up with your fingers and your strong climbing arms. Lift and lay back, and then soften what you did and give it another go. So it's a pulse. Lengthen, lift. Really, let your fingers dig in there. Give yourself a good massage on the sides of the spine. Lastly, let the throat just be so open, so out of our tendency to tuck down and look down at our phones all day. Invite a reshaping, if you will, of the space. Next, hold the sides of the neck and work on arcing your neck side to side. So as you're tipping your head right and left, notice, because what happens for a lot of us is as our head goes one way, we tend to crimp it up and shorten it. So like a long tube, let the neck curve up and over as you go side to side. It'll really clear out that neck energy, and at the same time that you're massaging it. Good. All right, here we go. Come to center. Here's the big one. Come to your knees, facing the long edge of your mat. So we prep for this the whole class. Frog pose. One of my personal favorites. So the knees go really wide. Your bolster's going to be there to lay on. And different than child's pose, the feet don't come together. I see people do that sometimes. It's not child's pose. Widen the feet so the calves are parallel with each other. Right, your calves make the number 11, your toes actually turn out. Then really sit your hips back. So booty's on the rise, pelvic floor is tipped open. And then you can lay down, you can put your belly on your bolsters or blankets, you can put your elbows, potentially lay down if you have the space, if you have the range of motion, if you have the props, otherwise hanging out on your elbows is okay. It'll still work, the magic. Secondly, similar to earlier, if the inner knees feel too much, depending on your flooring and your yoga mat, please take time to grab a blanket or give something to the inner knees that just the bone into the floor is not screaming at you. You can actually really soften down. This is an optimal place for the belly to open. So let it spool, let the belly be soft and supple, open and free. Let the mind reshape as much as the body is reshaping through your practice. Again, we will be here a little while, maybe another minute. If the intensity becomes something too much, right? If it starts to really pinch or hurt, don't stay in it. I invite you to come out, do a little shake out, and then another option would be to go to a child's pose. Good job, you guys. Keep with it just a little bit more. Let go, let go. Let's do 3 more deep breaths. 3 more. Coming out, you want to be super mindful because you've been here a while. Start with an arm push-up, then lift the hips and pull them forward, slide the feet narrow, and then awkwardly bring the knees back together. All fours, make your way to your mat, more normally, hands and knees, and do a little shake out, potentially one leg back at a time, curling the toes under, and pump in some space, straight leg. Vice versa, perhaps a down dog if you feel that a down dog would serve you really well right now and have the energy for it. Bringing it under our bellies again, so make an easy transition, however you go, super sliding. Do a nice little shoulder stretch. You've probably done it before. Take the right arm straight out to a T shape, so straight out in front of you, long right arm. Make sure any props are out of the way on the right side of you. You're going to roll onto the right side. The left foot will lift. As you're rolling to the right side body, move the right hand further away from you, a little farther. And let the head come to the ground. Gentle push of the left hand to make more space. Avoid over pushing, right? Not here to get too crazy aggressive, but definitely to find some space. Two more breaths on this side. Slowly come out to the center. And we'll go directly to the left. So left arm straight out like a T shape. Sometimes I see arms high and low. Push straight out. Warrior 2. Left side and just getting further away as you go. Right foot and knee. Move the right hand. Just enough to sustain some nice pressure. Two more breaths. You can slowly roll to your tummy. We'll place both hands. Last time we'll come up to the hands and the knees. We're going to take a meditative seat. So prepare yourself so that at the end of the meditation here, all you have to do is lay on your back for Shavasana, okay? So orient yourself so the transition will be super simple. I will turn and face you guys just to help with the sound. So help start at the hips, help yourself have more space, use your hand, untuck your pelvic floor. And then we'll go ring finger, pointer finger to thumb, and you can place your hands on your knees. The ribs open. There's all these layers to this experience. Taught as koshas in the yoga tradition, there's these, it's almost like an onion. We start to peel off from the physical, what we feel and see on the daily, into the universal. And that's why this mudra is so cool. The index finger represents you as an individual, whereas the thumb represents the universe, and how we bring it together in the meditation, or not that we bring it together, in fact, it's always brought together, but we allow our awareness to appear into this dynamic relationship of the two, to remove to work towards, it's like cleaning a mirror when it's really dirty. And the more you rub, the more you wipe, the reflection is clearer of what is really in front of you. Soften your jaw and just let the mind explore this idea of you individually are a piece of the universe. And if you were to disconnect a bit from the physical, from the ego of knowing this entity of you, if you were to disconnect from that, what would exist? What would remain? Couple more breaths in this. Really rich, curiosity-filled breaths. There doesn't have to be an answer, just an exploration. I'll invite you now to transition your way to Shavasana, laying on your back, so slowly. I plan to stay seated here to continue to guide you. But please do make yourself comfortable. Add any weight that you can. So I'll often use my bolster. I'll put it on my hips or low belly. Blanket, something that it's like a cocoon that you're in right now with the Shavasana. It's a place we retreat into. We hug ourselves in so that when we come back out of this, there can be some type of a birthing, however big, however small it might be, is so worthwhile. The birthing of just a better mood, hopefully, simple. Maybe a creative idea, a choice that you've gotten clarity on through the practice. we wrap up, it's like simmering the stew to let the flavors come together and develop something that they were not alone individually, but only could come together. It's a simmering inside the body here, inside the mind. And I invite you to stay a bit longer if you have some more time and a desire to maybe even drift off into a little bit of a nap. That's cool.
Please let me feel.
Listen to yourself. No obligation. No need to hop up. Give your body time to absorb not just the rest, not just the relaxation, but the recharge, the reset of all of you. United, yoked. I hope this state of peace can stay with you through your sleep tonight, through your day tomorrow, and beyond. Thank you so much for being here with me. Have a beautiful evening. Take good care. Drink lots of water. Namaste.